But the last few months he's won a tour event, semi-final in the World Championships, and this week he really has stepped up and started to play well.
Do you think this one will go to the pairs? Will it be that close?
Definitely. I tell you, that's the surest bet that you'll have this week, that this will go to the pairs.
You only have to win one singles to make the difference there and take it that distance.
Yeah, I mean, we could see this to a deciding one-leg shootout, Dave. I think they're so evenly matched that this one could be very tight.
OK, commentary team, Nigel Pearson, Sid Waddell.
Well, here we go. He's an Aussie Geordie with a DIY tattoo. He's got attitude, he's got class, 100. He's got style. He went to Australia in 05 and became the #1 within 2 years. Welcome all our viewers in Australia. We send you from Geordie land of Gooden. But that's the class of the former world champion. Should be a belter, Nigel.
Absolutely looking forward to this one. Webster in fine form after singles victories last night against Robert Thornton 3-0 of Scotland. Then he beat Alcinas of Spain, who we've just seen, 3-1. And he also beat Bill Davis of the USA. So 3 singles victories for this man yesterday. Knows what it's all about. Would love to get off to a winning start in this World Cup semi-final for Wales.
And big scalp for the Aussie Geordie. Puts on this big act. But like Manly, it's a bit pantomime. We're on the pantomime season. Played and won it perfectly a year ago against Taylor. That was his real big win night.
Yeah, it was here nice and early and taking things in, and on the practice board, of course. Paul is a very intelligent young man as well as a fine darts player. This man, Mark Webster, you mentioned, got to the semi-finals of the World Championship, won the 3rd and 4th place playoff over Raymond van Barneveld at the Alexandra Palace, and Nicholson now sat on 121.
Right. Three's handy. Welshman now shot. And in that little tournament just mentioned, beat Mark Walsh, Peter Manley, Kirk Shepard, and Kurt Stompy. Big scalper. Used to be a plumber.
37. Australia require 8.
Met him a couple of years ago after a tournament in Tyneside. He was out running, pounding.
Yeah, shot in the first leg.
The time.
To Australia.
Dedicated fitness fanatic.
Wales to
He's
Rovers.
the dapper Geordie Aussie. Big supporter of the Western Bulldogs. His mate Whitlock supports the Swans.
83.
Yeah, so a good start for Australia here. And as Sid just mentioned, a warm welcome to all our viewers in Australia, enjoying the World Cup of Darts here in the northeast of England. But a huge success.
137.
This tournament, and a lovely 137 from Paul Nicholson there, who has a reputation of playing to the crowd and sometimes clashing with the crowd, if you like. But he's one of the sports characters, and a welcome addition to the big stage, no doubt about that. And many people believe he really has what it takes to go all the way to the top of his game.
But you got to say the Aussies are favourites for this. If you look at the stats,
94.
The Wales average over the 4 games is about 86. But the Aussies had a purple patch their last 3 outings of 95 average. And Barry Bates was slow in some of his singles to find his form. So looking at the range of factors, the Aussies have got to be favourites to go into the final.
And yet it could have been all over on Friday night. They just scraped past the Republic of Ireland in the last game on Friday in the second round here. 6-5 was the score. A real scare, and both Nicholson and Whitlock breathed a huge sigh of relief after that victory to get through to the group stages yesterday.
Yeah, when I was here for a couple of years, came back to Geordie land, North Shields.
135.
Still loves Newcastle United, the Black and Whites, as well as the Western Bulldogs. This lad, sometimes very nervous on the hockey. I was watching him last night before we went out as Barry Bates played. 100. He was living every dart.
Australia require 95.
Well, a 2-0 lead for Australia would be handy here. First to 6, remember, to get a point on the board. Well, he went for the 20s there. 20 would have left him bull. treble 20 double 5. So Nicholson looking to set himself up. Hit the
55.
25. That was nicely done.
Wales
So he's set on
require
top. If
120.
Webster can't take out this 120.
Wow. And that's a miss that won't be in Webster's dictionary. Here we go. Nico then.
68.
Strike early for Oz.
Australia require
The
40.
cool dude with attitude. Is he in the mood? Tops.
Games on the second leg.
See overtime
Just
time,
say.
which
Third
translates
leg,
to Sydney.
Wales
Is
to
now Bala.
Wales.
Hasn't
Game
missed the
on.
double attempt yet. Paul Nicholson in the early stages, averaging 103.5 as well in the 2 legs so far. So far, so good for
57.
the asset. What an asset he is for Australia.
And he's a star on Twitter now. So very funny Twitters in the last 2 weeks about a bloke with bellyache in the room. A Derby next door to him. Keeping him awake at night
54.
through the hotel walls. This lad in the IDL 2007 lost 39 to Gary Anderson in the final, and the IDL is one of the real big tournaments.
140.
Former Lakeside world champ. So the class is oozing out here, the city boundaries of Sunderland. This is fantastic.
99.
Yes, and Nicholson won the Players' Championship in Purfleet early on this year. Hasn't really been able to strike any consistency since then in terms of going on and building on that.
81.
But he's a fine, fine player, and how he would be delighted to become a world champion, albeit as a team champion with Australia tonight.
Sit down on trailer, dedicated 25 years to being world champ. And that's why. That's what you get with dedication. Remember, quarter-finalist world champion 9 beat Lewis, Priestley. Then had a ding-dong beaten by James Wade. They have both
59.
diced it out, tungsten-wise, with the best.
Bit of frustration for Webster, just can't get any momentum. Since that 180 with the first throw, he's struggled for consistency since then. Nicholson now looking to set himself up for
60.
a handy finish. He
Wales
needed better than that though, didn't he?
164.
164 for Webster. It's a nice, tidy start. Treble 18 for Bull. And Nicholson now sat
96.
on 108. Can he give Australia a
require
3-0 lead here?
108.
Certainly can. 102 average. Aaron, I'm not biased. I come from very near where he was born. 10 miles from him. He was born in O'Shields, Tyneside. Toon lad. Needed the treble there. Looking really up for it now. Treble 18's handy.
42. Wales requires 68.
Now to get a leg on the board for Wales. Double 10 for Webster. There's the target. It's got to edge towards the left, and
Edge
that
on the
time he
third
gets
leg.
there. And
To
it's a leg
Wales.
on the board for Wales. Mark Webster is off and running.
Australia
In this race to 6 legs
Game
for a
on.
point in the standings here in this semi-final.
A lot of last minute finger work on the barrel by this lad. Gets that dip in the last 3 inches of trajectory.
96.
To the outer edge of the treble 19. Webster much taller. 6'6", 6'2", means his eye line is to the red bit. Not wrong with his eye line there either. Lovely.
134.
Yeah, and you have to agree with Rod Harrington when he said that this will go to the pairs to decide who joins Holland in the World Cup final tonight from 7 o'clock.
I agree with that. And I think
140.
this lad's nerves are clear. And Barry Bates, of course, thought he had gallop, but he had in fact a broken toe. So Barry did not look at his best
58.
in the pairs I've seen him in. So Whitlock, a fantastic player, finalist against Taylor, a world championship. 20 scores of 100 plus. Whitlock and this lad.
133.
Phenomenal pairs for us.
Reminder of the format, if you've just joined us, it's the second semi-final. Wales taking on Australia
100.
here. 4 singles
Australia
matches,
require
1 point to the
132.
winning team in each singles game. And then we have a doubles match with 2 points to the winners. But that will only take place if the result is still in doubt. And as in the first semi-final, the Netherlands 4-0 up on Spain, so the doubles weren't required. But there's going to be points taken off each other here, I'm sure. Bates and Whitlock coming up after this one. Some tough matches to call, Sid, in this showdown between Wales and Australia.
But
59.
as we say up here in the northeast of England,
Australia requires 64.
hot stoddy cakes need out in them. The creme de la world darts are here. All right, Taylor and Wade exited early, but that was a blaze of glory for a blaze of glory double eight. High in the bags. First bit of exultatory grinning.
Well, Nicholson's finishing is delightful. 3 out of 3. No problem whatsoever.
59.
Finishing brilliant from Paul Nicholson. And Australia have that 3-1 lead, but don't rule out Webster yet. First to 6, remember.
Well, leads with his tongue. Like a rattlesnake after a
45.
fly. But has the game to back it up, in my humble opinion. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cover.
177.
Perfect. Great stuff from Mark Webster, which is why you cannot rule him out yet, even though he's 2 legs behind. And of course, loser throws first in the World Cup of Darts as well, so every chance.
96.
Nice treble 19 with the last dart there from Nicholson. Needed that.
He had a great leg against John Part earlier in the tournament. Clattered in 5 180s. Really was on fire. At the moment, Nicholson.
42.
And the Welshmen each got a single 180. But they could start flooding. Our pundit Keith Della. I reckon there's sometimes a little bit too much good on between the ears. You can sometimes psych too much or worry in a darts match.
40.
I think the onus of being the lead man is shown on these two.
99.
Well, Nicholson, you just mentioned that game against John Part. Sid, that was yesterday afternoon, Canada, Australia. And Nicholson pulled off a 3-2 victory. It was a fine match. And Nicholson had to really be on top form for that. Do a nice treble here.
95.
So Webster in the
Wales
driving
require
seat in this leg, it
124.
seems.
Well, I've seen faster sack races on school sports days, but that's respect for the other's ability and the fear of making a mistake.
60.
Some of the great darts matches have been played at this pace. Remember Priestley against Taylor, Circus Tavern 2 or 3 times. Just lost the weight to the 60 at the moment.
100. Wales
Nice
requires
lateral
64.
drift there, deliberate lateral drift.
Topsy needs now. Switches for double 10 to really get Wales back
44.
into it. Disappointment for Webster.
Australia
Nicholson
require
sat on 125. This would be something special.
Bull. Each way bet, treble 20. And the last 10 darts have been weak
65.
at the 60.
Wales required 20.
Peg back in. The away leg side world champ, red bits. Now the flight's awkward here. It takes a boomerang shot. He's got to hit the high lie.
No score.
See? The shot got progressively
requires
33% harder.
Yeah, that second dart didn't help him at all, did it? So, Nicholson for 4-1. That would hurt Webster. 20 for tops now for a 4-1 lead. Hasn't missed a double yet.
Takes his time extra long. Might lose the rhythm.
40.
Lost the lie. Right there.
Wales required 20.
To peg back to a 1-leg deficit. Double 10. Now this has got to be absolutely. There's still a chance. Got to be Gossamer. Gossamer it is! Waited to perfection now.
Australia to
Relief for Mark Webster.
Game
on very much. Bruce Spenley calling the shots here. And that's a nice switch down to treble 19.
134.
Beautifully done from Nicholson. this semi-final really could go right down to the wire. 4 singles matches and the doubles, and Mark Webster with his second 180 of the match. Terrific stuff.
And there's a tangible change in the mood of the crowd. Not trying to gain any points in Melbourne or Brisbane, but the other underpinning to the two Aussie strength is their
28.
checkouts. They've had 3 checkouts. Round of applause. But he's always finding the range now, the
100.
former world champ. Nicholson playing this. It's edgy, it's... I think one thing, there'll be a totally different rhythm next game when Barry Bates plays the Beer to be Feared.
Yeah, it's a slower pace, but it's still a fine game, this. 2 180s apiece now. Nicholson of Australia averaging 94. Webster only down on 81,
105.
but still in contention, still looking to get back on level terms in this leg. Nicholson could do with a decent score here to set himself up for a finish if Webster allows him.
Fabulous follow-up, that caressed the barrel, brilliant shot.
127.
Right there.
Wales require 116.
He's actually had this once before in the tournament. Oh, what a mess. Oh, Luggy.
Wow.
96.
So,
Australia
Nicholson for
require
4-2.
32.
Takes a deep breath, knows the importance of this now. Double 16 for a 4-2 advantage for Australia.
From his angle, it's not as hard as it looks from that angle, but he's still got off the better way, Matt. Got to go low.
16 scored.
Betwixt and between.
Wales
That was
require
to know
20.
whether it go high through the flight or low to the open end. Right, here we go. Full parity, red bit.
Game to the 6th leg.
Could go all the
To
way this one.
Wales.
3 apiece it
7th
is.
leg, Australia to
And loser throws first, so it's Paul
Game
Nicholson
on.
who will step up. Try and get off to a flying start here. It's a decent start there with the treble with the first dart.
100.
Nice steady turn. 3 apiece it is. Remember this, the first of the semi-final matches between Wales and Australia. 1 point per singles game one. There's 4 singles games.
100.
And then it is the doubles.
That's right, and 6 legs wins you the game. We could have 5 games in the match.
140.
Beautiful last dart by the Aussie Geordie.
Bates and Whitlock to come. And as Sid said, that'll be a quicker pace than this one.
60.
2 very considered players, 2 very intelligent players, 2 of the younger generation,
Well,
Paul Nicholson and Mark Webster.
I'm not going to go ticking boxes, but the next 2 coming up are like a vaudeville act.
140.
Bates against Whitlock. Whitlock comes in with a hat with a corks. Got tattoos all over his arms. And Barry Bates is one of the same
99.
mold as Leighton Rees and
Australia
Alan
require
Evans,
121.
and John Azarati, and the greats of yesteryear.
Went down for treble 15 for double 8 now for 121. Check out, this would be spectacular. Double 8!
Game to the
Brilliant!
7th leg. To Australia.
121!
8th leg. Wales
Paul
to
Nicholson
Roper.
edges ahead for Australia once again.
To mix a Geordie Aussie metaphor. Bonza Gadji!
140.
Unlucky there with the last dart. Nicholson just needs 2 more. Going along at a nice 96.5 average. That is a naff potato, the first one. Great follow-up.
125.
Superb last dart!
Which way will this go? Who will get a point on the board to start this semi-final? Remember, if you've just joined us,
121.
Holland are already in the World Cup final tonight. They've beaten Spain 4-0. Spaniards have had a terrific World Cup, and I'm sure we'll see plenty more of Alcinas and Rodriguez.
They've already heard about them now, them two lads. And a few people in Spain are still watching. We'll all still remember them tipping England out of this 6-5 and finishing it with an 11 dart leg that featured two 180s. So I bet there's a lot of practice boards gone up in Spain in the last 3 days. Webster looks good to get a pop at a double. This is easier to hit than this.
3rd of the match for Nicholson. Makes it look oh so simple, doesn't he? And he'll go for 20 here now, but can Nicholson go with a leg of victory for Australia here?
Well, if you lead with a lip, you've got to let rip. And he does a lot of lip pushing, this boy, but he's got the talent to balance, in my humble opinion. There we go then, should be fun now.
Wales require 40.
Parody. Tops.
Game
There you go.
to Wales.
Things just got a bit warmer.
Australia to
in
first.
freezing
Game on.
Sunderland. Me and Ige edging forward in our little box.
4 apiece it is, delicately poised. Nicholson averaging 97.5.
60.
But a bit disappointed with that. Now Webster's been chasing this game. Could he edge it towards the end and get a point on the board
140.
with Barry Bates set to face Whitlock?
Certainly could. Speed it up. That shows confidence. That shows confidence. Nicholson's got to watch. The Welshman is putting his foot to the pedal. Don't think Paul will change his pace, but the Welshman definitely upped it. Here we go then.
140.
There's the 6. It's first point on the board for their country. Blocks the bet. I think he's going to risk it, Nige. No? Oh, going to take this.
58.
Only 58. The way he's going, I don't think he's going to miss. Look at that. Now in it. Now in it. What a match. This is still a line, Nige.
140.
Yep, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, very much so. You called it spot on, Sid. A nice lie, and he took full advantage of it, Nicholson.
He's flowing now, though. The 2008 Lakeside World Champion beat Whitlock. Having some synchronicity. Yeah, beat Whitlock 7-5 at that World Final.
And it's Webster Whitlock, 3rd up in the singles here
Australia
in this semi-final.
161.
Rematch. The 08 World Final at Lakeside. There's a lot of roosters coming home to roost here. Blocks the bait. Misses the treble. Oh, back in nails there. That's Carl Muck
Wales
spreading.
require 167.
Well, that was nicely done by Webster. He's going to go for
97.
treble 17.
Australia
Now
require
Nicholson set on 105. Deadlock here, 4 apiece. First to 6 legs will get a point for their team.
Dancing to different drums. This guy, slow. Webster in faster, hitting the snare.
53.
Right then to go ahead.
Wales requires 70.
To go ahead, and even only one. He wants flat 20. Hasn't got a good tune here. There's an open path above the flight to the red bit.
50.
First shot, he's rushed to the double.
Australia requires
Already should have paused a bit longer there, Nigel. He's playing.
Chance for Nicholson to go within a leg of winning this singles match and getting a point. Double 16 for Paul Nicholson to retake the lead for Australia. Middle of the bag, look what it means to him. Get in there. Australia are a leg away from getting a point on the board.
And the first King Kong cry of natural, atavistic,
58.
good feeling from Nicholson, the Aussie Geordie. I don't know what the Aussie equivalent of the haka is, but Paul just did it.
Passion, commitment. And speaking to Paul earlier, by the way, when
59.
he just arrived early this morning, and he was saying it's going to be a tough one against Wales, showing great respect towards Webster and Bates. He said it's going to be a very, very difficult semi-final.
99.
So they're prepared for it. Whitlock and Nicholson are expecting a tough one, and they're going to get it, I'm sure.
Yeah. The trained Welsh plumber has got to stop the bubbling Geordie Fawcett here. Fawcett, smooth it. Creaming the red bits! Relaxing! Some dog players, as they get near the end, just get uptight. Lactic acid poisoning.
136.
Needed two. I think you needed two there, Nige.
Yeah, 4 180s for Nicholson in the match today. 7 1040s. And a clever switch across to the 18s there. That wasn't that clever, was it?
Well, Welshman has the door open a bit now.
114.
But you're palpitating in Perth. You're breathing heavy in Brisbane. That's a belter. That's brilliant.
168.
Fabulous!
Australia
Well,
require
that was
148.
world class from Webster, and it puts Nicholson under pressure now. 148. It's not going to happen for him, and Webster, it seems, is going to take us into a deciding leg in the first singles match.
I thought you'd have got a bit more excited about it.
108.
Oh,
Wales
well, we can't be
require
in
40.
fancy on us too. Got to keep some decorum. We'll try.
Especially you.
2 10. So here we go then,
to
Nige.
Wales.
Fantastic, and Bates and Whitlock watching on in the practice room upstairs. It's a deciding leg,
Game on.
and because loser throws first, Nicholson is first with the darts.
Here we go then. Deciding leg. Really important
45.
first point in this. 4 points. Trying to win the first 4 singles to get 4 points.
139.
Well, that was brilliant from Webster when you consider that Nicholson had a bit of a hash.
Fight for it.
100.
He just lost the weight. That was a bad shot because he had the line. That should have been a 1/4 inch high end of the barrel. 2/3 of the aim. Well, he's blocked the bed now. Has to go cover now. Has to get his
59.
bad shot. So Nicholson can regain the advantage. We have 4 singles worth a point each, and if needed, a pairs, which is a 2-pointer. So if you get a 4-0, there's no need for the pairs. This is a great lie.
121.
Brilliant from Nicholson. Webster will be disappointed that he's let an opportunity slip here. That's more like it.
83.
But he knows he should have been in a much better position in this leg after Nicholson's poor start.
Crowd giving good order for this very cerebral match that has gone all the way. But I bet the next one this crowd gets going when Whitlock plays Barry Bates. Oh, bad
85.
shot again. He's missed that line. That should have been in and under to the red bit.
There's nerves, there's pressure. This first game is very important in what is a very evenly balanced semi-final between Wales and Australia.
100.
It's a ton for Webster.
Australia require
Now,
150.
can Nicholson finish it with something special, Sid?
They are hooked on it. The beer to be feared. And the Bedlin Ogboyul are watching from the practice area. Needed a treble. Needs a treble desperately.
40.
Bag of nails, Nige.
Wales require 120.
Absolutely. Webster will sense an opportunity. Treble 20 for tops. Oh. Well,
60.
still a big
Australia
task
require 110.
for Paul Nicholson. He took out 1-2-1 earlier.
Good spirit there. Good spirit. Pals up there. What a contrast between the two faces, Nige. Two were at a birthday party, and the others look as though they lost the lottery ticket. Treble 17 leaves tops. Tops to win a cracker.
70.
When he got that treble 17,
Wales
he was looking
require
so
60.
good. Now can Webster take this out for Wales? Tops to get a point and take the lead.
The 08 world champ. Tens.
Great match to start with, and there's plenty more to come in this semi-final. But it's Wales who get off to a